know that nowadays we are being haunted by the invisible and unforeseen virus, which called as the COVID-19, or also known as the coronavirus. Alright, so this virus not only affected the human life, but it's also give a huge impact to the economy worldwide. Since the first case of coronavirus were identified in Wuhan, China, starting from the last year, which is on December 2019, this virus has been spread across the world with more than 80 million of cases and exceed than 1 million of people that has been reported so far. Alright, so here is the latest data show about the top 5 countries with the highest numbers of cases due to the COVID-19. As we know, US dominate the worlds of economy, especially in the business industry, such as like the importer and exporter of the goods and the services, and then followed by the countries of China. The current coronavirus situation is profoundly impacting all types of businesses. Due to the drastic lockdown that have been implemented by the government all over the countries and all over the world, which are require a number of significant manufacturing companies and also the retail businesses to close down and even to reduce their business activities. This has been resulted to the slowdown in their economic level. Okay, so the COVID-19 pandemic is the global shock, which are involving simultaneously disruptions of the supply and the demand activities. Alright, so have you ever wondered that what will happen to the other countries macroeconomically? Now we are going to look into this matter in details about the critical issues rise as the effect of the lethal pandemic.
Thank you, Farhana, for the explanation about COVID-19. My name is Hanujana and I will be the next presenter. So, based on the question given by Farhana, the most countries that had affected by pandemic had drastically changed in economy are USA, Italy, Germany, Spain, and China. So, I would like to talk about the definition of economic risk. Before we go further about this topic, I would like to share about my finding in the internet based on IFRS financial reporting and analysis software. Economic risk can be defined as the likelihood that an investment will be affected by macroeconomic such as government regulation, exchange rate, or political stability, most commonly one in foreign country or international. In other words, many factors can be affect the growth of economy of a country. Economic risk can be referred to the risk that are speculation will be economically sustainable due to various reasons from our country or international factors that can influence an investment or a situation. Based on market business news, economic risks are often the most difficult to foresee, rapidly unable to invest in a relation of a product, thereby reducing the loss arising out of an unforeseen event. Shareholder and bondholder often bear the economic risk undertaken by international company by purchase or selling the bond. Now, let's take a look at the current issue related to the economic risk due to COVID by the next presenter. Thank you.
So one of the issues that is associated with economic risk is unemployment. So unemployment is universally recognized as undesirable. It is more evident than ever due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which left 10 billions of American jobless in its first 2 weeks. So as warned by the International Labour Organization, the continued sharp decline in working hours globally due to the COVID-19 outbreak means that 1.6 billion workers in a formal economy, that is nearly half of the global workforce, stand in immediately danger of having their livelihood destroyed. Unemployment leads to higher payments from state and government for unemployment benefits and also medical aid. So even for those who are eligible for this benefit, it is often the case that they receive 50% or less than their income. This means that they are consuming far less than the usual. Thus, policymakers must begin to think beyond policies for the recovery and start in the task of building a future of work that is safer, fairer, greener, and more effective in cushioning the consequences of future crisis on jobs and incomes. So what can they do? Policymakers or a company owner can improve the working conditions by revising the existing regulatory framework to ensure that equal treatment of workers regardless of their employment status and to ensure adequate working conditions for all workers. Next, they can also strengthen the employment and social protection so that they can cover all workers and ensure that they focus on risk prevention as much as on helping people to cope with their problems. And lastly, they can promote lifelong learning opportunities.
So next, we have inflation rates in relating to COVID-19 nowadays. During this pandemic, people are consuming a lot of food, so it will be less on transportation and recreation of goods. So when the changes in consumption patterns happen, it will turn out a higher inflation risk. As you can see, people are not working and not earning at the moment, yet the consumption needs have increased. So the demand of essential goods have a lot increased due to the less supply, thus these prices have increased rapidly. So these have resulted in a huge financial inflation and making it very difficult for middle class and poor families. According to the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, the annual growth in the prices of goods and services across the 37 countries in the world has slowed significantly as COVID-19 has brought business and social activity to a near standstill. In reflection of the evaporating demand from the consumers and the businesses as the government imposed a tough lockdown measures to limit the spread of virus, the inflation has dropped from 2.3 in February to 1.7 in March. As stated by the OECD, the annual inflation also fell sharply in Canada, and there is also a steep decline in US, France, Germany, and Italy. However, in Malaysia, the government and the Central Bank of Malaysia has done a steady job in controlling inflation in recent years. On the backdrop of coronavirus pandemic, the core inflation was at 1.3%, was therefore dropped to 0.1%. Therefore, the coronavirus pandemic has affected not only in Malaysia but also to the economics worldwide, and it has posed a great challenges for them to deal with.
Hi, my name is Zawin Izzatun Najah binti Muhammad Nazri from BA 2415B. So, here we come to the conclusion part. After we have gone through about the definition of economic risk, about the popular current issue nowadays which is COVID-19, unemployment issue and inflation risk issue due to COVID-19, we can conclude that this pandemic can give us a huge impact towards economic development. From this, we can see that the economic damage caused by the COVID-19 pandemic are largely driven by unemployment and inflation risk. From the explanation that have been discussed before, we can conclude that unemployment issue and inflation risk issue become arising day by day, and because of that, their sources of income is not stabilized anymore, especially toward middle class and poor family background. Thus, the pandemic will continue to disturb the global economy, and hence it is essential that we all work together to successfully get through this challenging time. As these infections are not likely to disappear in near future, proactive international action are required not only to save life but also to protect economic prosperity. So, that's all from us. Thank you. Bye-bye.